Okay, hey, it's Mark coming to you from Baker's Green Acres. All right, well, this is real life. Today's, I'm bringing Rose up to milk her, and I thought that she would be a good girl, but she's deciding that she's going to be not really a good girl. Okay, here we go. Yeah, she's going in. All right. She made me go all the way down in the corner and get her by the collar. But now we'll perform. She'll perform for you. I shut the door behind me. When she hears the milker going, she knows it's time. Come on, girl. Come on. Come on. Ah, camera shy, huh? Isn't she beautiful? And now she knows this part of the routine. Puts her head right in there. And then I close this up on her. That makes her feel secure. And there she is. She's where I want her. And she's got some bread and some kelp. And then Obi comes in to check things out. But this part of it, I just wanted to talk about a cow. You know, you got to get a cow. And what kind of cow? This is a Jersey. She appears to be a purebred Jersey. I don't know. She looks like one. Here, let's see if we can get a better facial shot of her. Right, and generally she's pretty good. This morning, though, I trying to get this camera out of my pocket. I think she thought it was a piece of bread, and then when she saw that it wasn't bread, then she decided to fight me a little bit and didn't want to come up. You know, I confused her, I think, with this phone in my hand. And sometimes I have to show her a piece of bread, and then when she starts moving, then she knows that we're coming in to get milked and this is what's going to happen. All right, so now what's going to happen here is I'll show you things, and when we go to the whiteboard, which I realized was reversed, all right, I don't know why that happened. I got my people working on it. If need be, I'll write everything on there in reverse, right? But don't worry, we'll get that figured out. But the category that we want to talk about today is your cow. And I can talk to you about Jersey cows because those are the kinds that I've milked. And, okay, Rosie, I paid $750 for her, and she came with a calf, which was a serious good deal. Serious good deal. All right, I know the people that owned her, and it was a situation where they were not able to keep her, and so they had to find a good home for her. So they wanted her to go to a farm where she was just going to be one of, you know, a few. They didn't want her to go to, you know, 100 cow dairy. All right, so they called me actually and said, we got a really good cow. And so, I mean, they're out there, and I think that's about the ballpark that you're going to pay for a cow. Now, when she came, she had a calf, right? So she was in milk. And I'm going to go through the terms a little bit. The little one that came with her was a calf, and it was a female calf. So a female calf would be a heifer, a heifer. If it was a male calf, it would be a bull, right? And if we castrate, which we're going to talk about, if we castrate the male, he would become a steer, right? And castration is when we cut when we remove the testicles off of the animal. And in the bovine world, my personal recommendation to you, as being someone who has owned several bulls, I don't have one now. You definitely want to do this, because if they maintain their bullness, they can be kind of dangerous. Now, even her, she can be dangerous. Yesterday when I was bringing her in, my Great Pyrenees female decided to follow me down there and was a little bit slow getting out of Rosie's way, and Rosie butted her hard. And, the dog took it, but it made a big loud clang. She hit her into the gate and it flew open and everything. So, she is a very powerful animal, even though she doesn't really look it. I mean, she's big. She's probably, near 1,200 pounds, maybe. So there's a lot of mass there, and, she's strong. I want to talk about the care of this animal. She eats, in the wintertime, nothing but dry hay, because, like right now, we're off the field. We're not doing any grazing right now. And I come off usually December 1st. Sometimes we'll come off a little sooner if, the weather dictates it. Like if the snow is too deep and they just can't get through it, then we'll just come off early. And no big deal. But with her, you want to keep her as comfortable as possible so she can put most of her energy into milk production. So that's about it. They eat hay. Now, she gets a treat when she's being milked, and I have a bread contract, a junk bread contract for my pigs. So I'm able to give her really high quality organic bread, and I usually give her about a loaf, sliced up bread, and I'll put a handful of kelp on there. Now, I'm big on this stack in the deck thing, any advantage that you can take, you take it. You don't want to take unfair advantages. It'd be a real advantage to my farm if I knocked off the bank in town, but that would be unfair, so I'm not going to do that. But stacking the deck with her nutrition is really beneficial, because this milk is going to my children. So where I can't really give my kids a spoonful of kelp in the morning, comes from the ocean, Atlantic Ocean, I can give it to her. I can give her a handful of it, and my kids will drink milk freely, especially if they make chocolate milk. I mean, they'll just swill the stuff down like you can't believe. And there's controversy out there about milk, like there's controversy about everything, eating dogs, you name it. But milk seems to be something that the human body wants and needs. So we make a lot of products out of milk, and nobody around here is hurting because of it. So I don't know what to say about that. Some people are really against raw milk. I know officials with the state are against it, but they're more in place to run defense for industrial milk agriculture. So that's why they do it. Health benefits from it, if you look into it, the health benefits can be really good. So that's why we do it. And my farm is more of a sustenance operation now. So we go through a lot of milk. I had 8 kids. We got 4 in the house still, and me and Jill. So we go through a lot of milk. So it makes sense to have a cow. All growing up, my mother used to say, man, we might as well have a cow with all the milk that you drink. So I'm just following her directions. So I got me a cow. I actually got 2 cows. All right, so she's a Jersey. To take care of her is not real hard. When you're only milking 1 cow, I mean, that's time to name them, and that's time to spend time with them. If we had 80 cows here, they would all just be a number, and you wouldn't have any kind of relationship with them. Sometimes in the summertime, I have a piece of equipment here that I made. It's a stake. See, I can push that stake in, and it's got a collar around it with a chain. So it's sort of like a run. And I can take her out by the ditch in the road. There's a lot of nice grass out there. I can put her out there, and she'll eat a big crop circle. And my neighbors probably wonder, why is that circle there in the weeds there? And they don't, after I've got the cow out of there. But instead of, letting her go on a good hay field, I can put her places. And that's easy because I milk her in the morning. So I can just take her out and place her where I want her. And I like to put her places where she's part of us. She sees us. She knows us. She looks at us and she's wanting direction from us. My kids will go over and they'll sit on her back and they'll play with her and, you know, just be with her. She's, like I said, this is a relationship between her and us. We provide her a place to stay and stuff to eat, and she provides us with milk. So it's a good relationship. This is my third cow that I've had. My first one, we named her Rosie. This one came with the name Rosie. I think it's a fairly common name for cows. My second cow's name was Penny, and she just passed away not too long ago. Tragedy, really, because she was a really good cow. And the other cow that we have, her name is Fawn, and she's not friendly though. She was kind of a rescue out of a commercial dairy, so she's not friendly. She doesn't like to be touched. Which can be bad, but can be good, because she'll just kind of stay in front of you so you can move her. She knows what to do because it's part of her life being milked. So let's see, care of your cow. We're going to go through this on the whiteboard, but they basically need someplace to get in once in a while, to get out of the sun. Their body temperatures will meet the environmental conditions, so you don't have to worry about a heat lamp or anything like that on them or bringing them in the house. They're not like us. When they require more heat to keep warmer blood going to their extremities, their body takes care of that. So you don't need to worry about that. We try to provide some place where they can get out of the wind, because the wind will take a lot out of them. And with her, I want her energy going into the pail. She's going to have a calf every year, right? For the homesteader, you probably don't want to keep a bull around. So one of the other things that you can master, which I haven't mastered yet, and I'm going to talk about it, but I'm going to tell you that I haven't mastered it yet, is artificial insemination. That is something that you can do at home. The other way to do it is bring a bull on, and that's tough. It's probably better if you have a friend with a bull and you can bring your cow there, but that can be tough too. So that's sort of something that you need to overcome. The other way is to hire artificial insemination people to come and do the job for you. And there's a procedure, and it will be their procedure, so you should call them. I don't really want to tell you what to do here, but it is a several-day procedure. It involves a couple of shots that brings them into cycle, and then they inseminate into them. You can even inseminate embryos into them. It's a little bit more expensive, but then you can kind of pick the kind of offspring they're going to have. And that's a whole conversation too that we can have down by the whiteboard about what breed you want to breed your milk cow to. So the calf that I got from Rose is a heifer, and my kids work with her every day. Not work with her, they play with her. She's a calf, so she's fun, and they just are with her. And they feed her, and so she's socialized, and we will, about this time next year, we'll probably breed her, and she will replace Fawn, right? Fawn's going to have one more go around, and then that's going to be it for her, maybe. Now, what do you do with a cow when you're done with them? This is kind of the end of the story, but, you know, a 10-year-old cow is still going to make excellent hamburger, and you've taken very good care of them, and it would be a shame to push them in a hole. And to make a cow into hamburger, you're going to have to go to the Homesteaders Guild for that one, because that's a much deeper dive if you're going to learn how to do that on your own. But it's a good thing to know how to do, and we can go through the numbers on that some other time. Let's see, what else is on that list on my whiteboard? I guess we'll have to wait till we get there. Okay, be coming back at you with part 2 of cow.